20th century, and in the 1990s, we have to still go the same bullshit route that other artists have had to go to get acceptance. If it wasn't for the independence, if it wasn't for the small little cities and the few little ghetto guys trying to make music, it would have never happened. Some of these guys will never make a dime. Some of these guys will be poor and die alone. But in the process, they've been the true renegades. And the true rebels always walk alone anyway. guys will never make a dime. But in the process, they've been the true renegades. And the true rebels always walk alone anyway.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the British Touring Car Championship for rounds 5 and 6 from Silverstone International. I am Chaz Draycott, your host again this evening of Chaz Draycott Media. Let's change that to say rounds 5 and 6 at the top, shall we? Welcome to what has been a legendary circuit in the British Touring Car Championship's very long history. We're going to have a lot of fun here today. Very hot track temperatures for these guys and a big challenge ahead of them. Quite a flat surface, but trust me, the cars have been bouncing around quite a lot around here. So I think we're going to see a lot of great action and a lot of great overtaking. Should be plenty of fun. Got the stream on in the background, as you can hear there. Beautiful. So, let's look at the championship standings, shall we? Because this is far from straightforward at the moment. Dennis Melcher, after a very successful Donington Park round 3 and 4, the first driver in the series history to take 2 race wins in one race meeting. So he's really opened it up. He didn't have a very good start to the championship, but now he's flown up there because of that, and 53 points, 7 points clear of Dave Waldock for Might Just Fit. Matt Draycott, top independent in every single round so far. He's absolutely flying at the top of that championship. And Nodaphone, well, they had a real nightmare at Donington Park, scoring, I believe it was 11 points between them as a team. So definitely nothing to write home about there. Tom Jacobs just behind Jack Werrell, and then an 11-point gap back to Josh Rayfield, who had a good race meeting at Donington as well after a poor time at Brands Hatch to start the season off. Michael Blake just behind him in 7th, and then the 2 dodgy MOT cars, Andy Fox and Niall Crowther, tied on points at the moment, 16 points each. You can see the yellow strips on the left hand side for the independents, and Matt Draycott is very comfortably leading that championship, 36 points to the 8 points of Ben Lambert, who had a good time at Donington as well, 4 points for Steve Burke, and 6 points just in the middle of them there is Chris Coughlin. So the guys are just finishing up their practice session now. We'll have a look at some of the guys out on track, shall we? That's Morgan Butler. He's actually just pulled over to the side, going down the straight. Here's Matt Draycott then, your independent championship leader at the moment. Matt in what is effectively an Arena International livery, I believe it is. They used to have just literally a silver and black gradient on the car. It was a very simple looking thing. Morgan Butler's actually 4th at the moment for Team Jane Fonda, so Morgan's found some real pace here. Dennis Melcher, championship leader, is 5th. There is Morgan getting a huge slide on around there, floors it, spins up the fronts, manages to keep it on the circuit. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. But that's the beauty of these cars around there. We'll go on board and show you just how mental it can be. The camera exposure will do its thing. Oh, what's happened to the dashboard? That's gone transparent. That's very annoying, isn't it? Into the hairpin. You can just see how bumpy it is around here as well. It's not a straightforward circuit for these guys to race around, and I can't wait to see what they can do. Top of the pile at the moment, it's Michael Blake for Might Just Fit, Josh Rayfield 2nd for Team Netcode, and Dave Waldock, the other Might Just Fit car, in 3rd place. In the team's championship, by the way, it's very close indeed. Nodaphone, Tom Jacobs and Jack Werrell still top of the pile in that championship with 64 points. Then it's the Might Just Fit team, only 1 point behind them on 63, and then only 2 points back from them, it's Dennis Melcher and Rob Lundgren in the Ericsson Hitters machines. Looks like Steve Burke's having a bit of a nightmare at the moment in this session. He's got Carl Jacquelet just behind him on track and just ahead of him on the timing sheets. Ben Lambert bottom of the pile at the moment. But this is real crunch time now for Steve. He missed the previous round to race in the Britcar E-Series. And now he's back in the 168 brake horsepower Volkswagen Jetta TDI, which we all know and love. 2-litre engines in these things, making not a lot of noise, to be honest. Team Netcode is a great name. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, Carl gets a little bit out of shape there. Oh, an interesting thing to note as well. After the season's 3rd and 4th rounds at Donington Park last week, we had a bit of a chat between all the drivers and everyone involved just regarding incidents and incident point limits. What's actually been changed is that damage has been turned on. It was originally turned off, knowing that these cars, if you do wheel bang them, can get damaged quite severely, but we think it'll calm some of the drivers down and stop them going for complete sends into some of the corners and stop them racing closer than they would if damage was turned on, effectively. So we're not going to see so many incidents and argy-bargy, I don't think, which hopefully won't detract from the racing. We've seen some great racing so far. I mean, look at Steve Burke and Carl Jacquelet. This is only the practice session, and they are all over each other. And as Steve crosses the line, what sort of time can he do? Doesn't look like he's actually put one on the board yet. 136.6 is his best. That was a 136.9 last time round. 135.7 by Michael Blake has put him top at the moment. Josh Rayfield just under a tenth of a second faster. Here's Derek Robb in the other Team Jane Fonda car. Currently in 11th place in car 11, so that works out nicely. Watch those guys round Copse there as they go over that AstroTurf. It can really catch some of them out. You will see a lot of them making mistakes down there. Here is Derek now into the Maggots and Beckett section. They're really going to be sliding it in there tonight, I promise you. They're going to be all over the show. So then, the session will tick over. As you can see, the overlay reloading and doing its thing. Niall Crowther is going to be one of the first cars out of the pit lane then for qualifying. Qualifying for the 5th round of the championship. And I, for one, can't wait. Cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. Just waiting for the guys to filter around. They're all trying to rush for the first point of contact to be themselves. They want to be right at the front of the pack. Although, to be thinking about it, you want to be sort of getting slipstream off people, not giving people slipstream. You've got Morgan Butler and Matt Draycott just behind there. I believe that's Tom Jacobs just following them as well. In the background there, you've got Rob Lundgren with Ben Lambert right up his exhaust pipe. And not many of these guys really spacing out at the moment, which is interesting to see. But it's their decision. They've got a 15-minute qualifying session. And yes, Ian, let's hope for some close racing like the previous rounds. We've seen some amazing racing so far this season. And the British Boring Car Championship has been far from boring. Here is your championship leader then, number 88, Dennis Melchett, the German. Only 2 drivers in this series are not classed as British, effectively. Chris Coughlin is down under the Scottish flag. But Dennis Melchett and Rob Lundgren, German and Swedish respectively, are actually in the same team. We genuinely have Rob Lundgren, Swedish driver, driving a Volvo. In some ways. So he's literally Rickard Rydell this season, is Rob Lundgren. And he's been very enthusiastic about it. He's been really loving getting involved. So let's see what the guys can do. I think Niall Crowther is not... No, he's not at the front. Matt Draycott's just in front of him. They're just going to tow each other around. So we go on board with Niall now. The car bouncing around all over the place. Look at it, hopping and skipping into the Maggots and Beckett section. Doesn't make contact with Matt. But Matt is flying at the moment. It looks like he's actually put up a little bit of a gap there over Niall Crowther. Apologies if we've lost any frames there or had a poor frame rate drop. It seems to be a bit dodgy at my end. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is it Eusebio? Eusebio? However you say it, thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that. I hope we have some great racing to reflect that tonight. Jack Werrell seems to have disappeared, strangely. He's not on track yet, anyway, which is not ideal. Hopefully we can see Jack out there on circuit tonight. He's got a championship to think about. I'm just very quickly going to bring up the iRacing UI. And his connection has dropped. You may have just seen it at the bottom of your screen there, but Jack Werrell's connection has dropped out, unfortunately. Right then. Keep your eye on the left-hand side of the screen. The first sets of laps are going to be coming in now. Don't forget, they have to be clean laps from these guys. Otherwise, they will not count. It looks like I need to reload the overlay by the look of it. Crowther's gone second, we know that much. Bear with it. There it is, Draycott top then. 3/10 quicker than Coughlin. Yeah, some of the guys, because they're putting times in, they won't show up yet, so bear with it. I will get it eventually. The overlay has hated me these last few days. It's had a real kick in the backside from me. Oh, and off goes Niall Crowther. Niall's just gone off the circuit there and run wide. Morgan Butler didn't get a clean lap in that time. Third at the moment is Carl Jacquelet, I can tell you that much. And fifth in that other gap there is Steve Burke. Crowther and Lundgren, only 1.2 seconds separating them so far, as Steve flies down the inside of Ben Lambert. Michael Blake just behind him there in the Might Just Fit car. Love that livery as well, it even looks good on the Jetta. Ah, Jack's had to leave and rejoin. That's such a shame, mate. Such a shame, buddy. Hopefully we can see you flying back up through the order as the race meeting goes on. Just trying to reload the overlay again for you, everybody, just so we can get those times on the board. It looks like they'll have to reset a time or something for it to work properly. So sorry about that. Andy Fox has gone second for Dodgy MOT. Just under 0.2 of a second off Matt Draycott, who is currently top of the pile. Let's see, 1:35.6. I'll have to see what these guys can do. I think 1:35.7 was the fastest earlier on. Any of these guys improving? Michael Blake, 0.002 of a second off Draycott, and there it is. Dennis Melchuk goes fastest. Championship leader. Really, really hitting home with that one. Carl Jacquelet did not improve on his time. I think Carl has done a 1:36.04. Yeah, it looks like, oh, I've got somebody going properly all over the place there. That was Michael Blake going off the track. Let's just have another look at this, just so you can see the humongous bounce that he gets. As soon as you hit the curb, look at it. It just unsettles the car and it wobbles all over the place. All four wheels off the ground at certain points. And we're going to see a lot of that over the course of the night. So it'd be great to see whether any of these guys do have that issue. We'll just pop up onto have a look now at Matty Draycott, who's coming towards the end of a lap again, just to see if he can hold out and do his very best. He's not even 1/10 of a second off Dennis Melchuk at the moment. He just needs to find that extra tiny bit of time just to see how he can improve, but he's actually coming in the pits now. He must have worn the tyres out. Chris Coughlin's in 6th place at the moment in the men's room Matt Neal replica livery. Tom Jacobs is surprising me, actually. He's only down in 10th at the moment. Fordy's in the YouTube chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. We have plenty more time for these guys to qualify. Only 6 minutes and 47 seconds gone so far. And Carl Jacquelet still not showing on the left-hand side. I think when he does reset a lap time, everybody, it will show up, so don't you worry about that. Andy Fox sitting in 4th at the moment. The Might Just Fit cars as well of Michael Blake and Dave Waldock, both doing an incredible job this season. They're so consistent. They're always up there in the top 5. There is Dave just at the bottom of your shot. You can see the car just hopping and skipping around there. Absolutely brilliant. I'd imagine the car's quite scary through bridge. Oh, Andy Fox has just gone straight on ahead of him there. Not having the best of times, it seems. As I've previously mentioned, Dave made me very happy by choosing the number 7, because number 7 was the number that Ivan Muller actually ran in 1999 in that exact livery with the same coloured windscreen banner. So thank you, Dave. Making my job easier when it came to doing the liveries. He does improve his time. And look at that, Blake is still just 0.002 of a second off Matt Draycott. Incredibly close between those guys. We've got 0.2 of, not even a quarter of a second separating the top 5 at the moment. 0.6 of a second separating the top 12. Sorry, top 11. And then it's 0.4 back to Ben Lambert. And Niall Crowther as well, 13th. So only a second separating the whole field out of those that have managed to put laps in so far. Morgan Butler's just coming to the end of a lap as well, so hopefully he can get one on the board. We'll see what Morgan can manage. Oh yeah, the wobble is the absolute charm of the Jetta. And Morgan Butler goes 11th there, just half a second off the pace, just ahead of Steve Burke and Ben Lambert. Jack Werrell does get a lap in the end, after his connection issue earlier, so the Nodaphone car now on track and putting the time in. Only Josh Rayfield now left to set a time. Josh was actually second fastest in practice, so I hope he can repeat that again and get right up there with these guys. He seems to have some good pace around here. Goes up to 7th, just ahead of his teammate there, Carl Jacquelet, in 8th. And just popping up the times, Tom Jacobs goes 4th. Tom improves. Matt Draycott has crossed the line, but that's going to be now onto his fast lap. Michael Blake goes fastest for Might Just Fit. It was Michael that topped the times in practice, and he's done it again now. So brilliant work from Michael in the number 18. He's going to be over the moon with that. And in the independence battle again, it's Matt Draycott really showing these boys how it's done. Chris Coughlin here, the other independent. And Derek Robb. Derek Robb flies up the order there into 3rd place. Derek doing a great time. He won't mind me saying that he's not really lit the world on fire before now, but this is the beauty of this championship. If you can just get it on a track where you can really master it, these guys are so close when it comes to their lap times. It's brilliant to see. And I really hope that Derek can keep that up. He needs some good championship points. At the moment, in the standings, he is in 10th place on just 13 points. So we know that he can do better. There's Jacquelet. He's not showing on the timing screen on the left still, but he is in 10th position, I can guarantee you that. Jack Werrell's just crossed the line and started another lap. Look at the wobble never gets boring. Watching these cars wobble around is just great. We've got Dennis Melcher just coming towards the end of a lap now in the Ericsson Hitters car. He's got his teammate Rob Lundgren just ahead of him there, just making it very clear that he's allergic to that apex. And yeah, 1:35.4 is very quick. Oh, these guys have just jumped out of the way. Tom Jacobs has gone second now. Tom Jacobs doing a 1:35.54. So Tom showing that the poor time that he had at Donington was definitely just a one-off, and he wants to really crack on with this now. It looks so hard to get the car slowed down for there. Really does. Because you turn in while you're on the brakes, and these cars love to bounce around. You'll see a lot of different lines around there as well. People will be going for manoeuvres around there to try and overtake each other. It's just all about getting it stopped and making sure that you keep it clean. Jacquelet has jumped back on the board now. There you go, I told you. He's into 8th place now. And look how close that is. We've got 7, not even 3/4 of a second, separating the top 13 places. There's Jacquelet getting it very sideways. Can he save it? Not quite. He's going to go off into the gravel. And off he goes. Andy Fox is just ahead of him at the moment in the number 21 Dodge MOT car. His teammate Niall Crowther not having the best time. Same with Jack Werrell, who's just crossed the line. Hopefully he can jump up the order. He improves by 9/10. But he's still 1.5 seconds off the pace. So needs a little bit more time, does Jack. Dennis Melchert's gone to 3rd position as well. Dennis with a 1:35.56. So only just off Tom Jacobs. But Matt Draycott, he's going to be very pleased with this Independence Championship so far. He was expecting it to be a real fight between himself, Burke, Coughlin and Lambert. But so far, he's done an amazing job. He's qualified fastest out of all of them at each round. Niall Crowther goes up to 14th place there with his best lap. But Matt has finished every single race as the top independent so far this season. And he's aiming to continue that here at Silverstone. He says that he really hates lapping this track on his own, but it's really good for racing. And he actually won the practice race on Tuesday night that we had, ahead of Michael Blake and Josh Rayfield. Morgan Butler pops up the times there. 7th place for Morgan now. So Team Jane Fonda have really pulled something out of the bag for this round. It's great to see. And we've got a Vodafone car at pretty much either end of the table at the moment. Tom Jacobs then 2nd, Jack Werrell 16th. Oh, look at it wobbling around there for Morgan. Really wobbling around. Andy Fox has shown some good pace this season, but this time round he just can't quite match the guys around him. He's got Steve Burke just ahead of him on track there. Steve also one of these drivers that likes to race in a lot of different disciplines. He's a humongous fan of GT and endurance racing. Previous Brit car champion as well, Class 2 champion in 2016 in a Nissan 350Z GT car that he built himself. And unfortunately, I've never been able to see Steve race. I didn't know him when he was racing. But it's an amazing achievement. And Carl Jacqueline, I think we just saw him actually sliding off there in the background of shot. I thought it was him. Let's have another look. He'll probably chuck it in. Yep, the car breaks away. Look at it hopping around. The suspension is that stiff on these things. He manages to stop it, light it up, and get it going again. There was actually a moment in the practice race the other day where... Oh, Dennis Melchett's just gone top, by the way. Dennis Melchett goes to the top of the standings. Just like he has in the championship. Carl Jacqueline has just gone... sorry, Josh Rayfield, I believe, has just gone up a position with a 135.86. And Dave Waldock goes fourth. So plenty of shimmying around in the top 10. But I was just going to say, there was a moment in the practice race the other day where Matt Draycott got rolled over and his right wheels hit the ground that hard and the suspension is that stiff. It just hopped the entire car off the ground and rolled it over again in mid-air before it landed on its wheels again. We've only got 20 seconds of this qualifying session remaining. And I really wish that the sun was on the sides of the cars there, because it gets very murky when they're in the shade. A bit difficult to see the numbers sometimes. Through bridge. Beautiful corner, really focusing corner as well, so exciting. Whether you're driving it or watching it. So much great footage of some of the old Super Tourers flying through there and still looking so planted. Drivers sending it up the inside into the next left-hander. And that is the end of qualifying then. Let's see who's at the end of a lap. Jacobs just ahead of these guys, is about to cross the line. Third at the moment on a 135.54. Can he improve? Looks like a very smooth line he takes across the line there. Nothing doing by the look of it. Dennis Melchett then crosses the line as well. What can he do? No improvement for Dennis either. Just keeping an eye on it. Josh Rayfield pops up a couple of places. Up into 9th now, and he's only 9 thousandths off Rob Lundgren and only 7 thousandths ahead of Andy Fox. So close between those guys. And other than that, I think we've just got Steve Burke on a lap. Niall Crowder is on one. Ben Lambert just crossed the line there, so he's not going to be starting a new lap now. The session is over for Ben, and he's going to be 15th. Jack Werrell 16th at the moment. He did improve his time, but still a tenth of a second off Ben, just ahead of him. So this is Steve Burke. That's Andy Fox just ahead of him. Oh, Andy's run wide out of the final corner there, and I think he may get an incident point for that. He's still going for the line, though, which leads me to believe he hasn't. See what he can do. He runs it out wide to the left. Steve Burke's going to do the same. Does Andy improve? He's only 4 tenths off pole, and he's in 10th place. It's crazy. Steve Burke crosses the line as well. No improvement from Steve either, so that will mean then that for the third race meeting run-in, we're going to have Dennis Melchett on pole position. What an amazing performance by Dennis. Very well done. And the German is really taking these qualifying sessions to his advantage. He gets a point, of course, every time he gets pole position. So it just adds up and adds up over the course of a season. I'm just going to wait for the session to tick over now. We've actually got Rob Lundgren still on track, it seems. Oh no, they're just coming in, the pair of them now, actually. So this is the, on iRacing, this is the noon setting, so the sun right above the drivers. Here is your grid then. Dennis Melchett, another pole position to add to his tally with Michael Blake alongside him. Tom Jacobs and Michael's teammate on row 2. Then we have Derek Robb and Matt Draycott on row 3. Morgan Butler and Rob Lundgren, good stuff for them, 7th and 8th. Josh Rayfield 9th, Andy Fox 10th. Carl Jacqueline 11th with Chris Coughlin in 12th. Then we have Steve Burke, Niall Crowther, Ben Lambert and Jack Werrell. And I know that I really have to fly to these guys when they get onto the grid, because they very quickly grid up and get on with it. We're just waiting for Carl Jacqueline now then, and we can get this race underway. Carl takes to the grid. I will shut the music up. And round 5 of the British Boring Car Championship from Silverstone is away. No wheel spin from Tom Jacobs, but it doesn't look like it helps him out. Morgan Butler flies past his teammate Derek Robb. Rob Lundgren, everyone filters over to the left. Dennis Melchett leads them round turn 1, though. We'll keep an eye out in the middle. Rob Lundgren side by side round the outside of Derek Robb. Tries to hang it around there. Anybody off? Anybody losing out? No, it looks like everyone's kept it clean. A little bit of contact there, I think. Lambert and Jackalette jostling in the midfield. But Dennis Melchett leads them then. Michael Blake right behind him. Let's check for cars bouncing and sliding. Looked like Morgan Butler got a bit sideways. Oh, in the background, Carl Jackalette is around. I think he's been hit by Steve Burke. Steve's got quite a lot of damage. They've both got damage to the front right. Now, it's such a shame for those boys. But we did turn the damage on to avoid people going for silly incidents. Tom Jacobs here, side by side with Michael Blake. He must have got a great run out of the right-hander into the hairpin then. They all concertina up. It's the two Might Just Fit cars on the inside of the Nodaphone machine. Matt Draycott's just behind this as well. There he is. He's watching this battle thinking, go on then, boys. Just get involved with each other. You've got Rayfield, Fox and Rob as well just in the background having it out. Jacobs tries to hang it around the outside of Blake. He still looks down the inside, goes late on the brakes. No, Michael's got through. Well, defends the place anyway. Dave Waldock right behind him, nose to tail, a lot of them. Morgan Butler a little bit late in there. Andy Fox, Rayfield, Coughlin, they're all over the place, a lot of them. All trying to find any sort of gap they can. Still round the outside, Andy Fox trying to get through. It's the 21 past the 11. Or trying to get past the 11, I should say. Steve Burke and Carl Jackalette, they may have damage, but they're still racing as well, side by side. Quite a lot of damage to the front right of Carl's car. That's really been smacked in, hasn't it? But Dennis Melchett then leads your field at the end of lap 1. Can he make it 3 race wins in a row? Jack Werrell's come into the pit lane. So it's all gone wrong for Jack tonight, unfortunately. Not quite sure what happened to Jack, actually. We'll have a look. Oh, in the background there, Morgan Butler all over the shop. Bouncing around, Matt Draycott takes avoiding action. And Morgan somehow gets the place from it, actually. Oh, Derek Robb, his teammate, though, hasn't made a place up. He's lost them. All over the shop there. Let's have a quick look then. What happened to... Oh, Steve Burke actually gets a bit of a bad start, it seems. Yeah, Ben Lambert and Niall Crowther just shimmy straight past him. We'll just have a quick look further on. Or I'll at least try to see if we can have a look further on. So let's have a look what happens here. So you've got Jackalette, Crowther and Lambert. Oh, Lambert gets into the back of Jackalette. Steve's not really got anywhere to go and he clouts into him. Not sure what happened to Jack Werrell. But something has gone wrong for Jack partway around the lap. He's back out though. But at the moment, Michael Blake has got Tom Jacobs all over the back of him. And his teammate, Dave Waldock, trying to put the pressure on as well. Behind them, Morgan Butler's up to 5th place. He's having a great race so far. Him and his teammate Derek Robb have come alive. We may have seen a mistake from Derek, but still he's shown that he's got some brilliant pace. Into Copse they go. Matt Draycott just behind here. He won't be happy that he's lost those places, as everyone runs wide out of Copse. Rob Lundgren doing a really good bit of gardening there. I'm not sure whether he knows, but Silverstone's already been renovated many, many years ago. Matt down the inside. Car hops around. Sideways behind him was Andy Fox. And Matt makes the move. That was beautiful. Really nicely done there from Draycott. It's so close behind them. Everyone's still nose to tail. You've got Josh Rayfield in there as well, with Chris Coughlin just behind. Rob Lundgren. He's done a good job so far. Gained some more places. Rob is up 1 position, actually. He qualified a little bit higher than he usually does. Although Andy Fox is a bit deep in there. Now Josh Rayfield's going to try and take advantage. Tries to get out of the way. And this is the thing, you know, having damage on seems to help these boys out a lot. Draycott's actually caught up to Morgan Butler just ahead of this as well. He's really closed the gap. And he's going to try and go down the inside through bridge. That is not going to work. Is he going to go to the left? No, he's just going to stay single file for now. Rob Lundgren looks down the inside though. Nothing doing. Andy Fox takes the apex a little bit early as well. Onto the brakes. Draycott looks like he was going to go deep there, but that's the thing with this car. Honestly, it's a very strange car to drive on iRacing because when it's running wide, you may kill the tyres doing it, but you just put more lock on and it just behaves itself and goes around the corner. Josh really squeezing Andy Fox. He thinks, oh, I like that wing mirror. Can I have that one and you have mine? Down the straight they go, still side by side, not giving an inch. I say that though, and Andy's been very respectful, giving a lot of room. He knows that the damage is on. Down the inside, Josh hurls it into turn 1. Doesn't really help him out though, he catches a bit of the grass. Matt Draycott's done the same just in front. But Josh has kept the speed up. and I think he's still ahead, although Chris Coughlin wants in on this as well. He's now side by side with Andy Fox. And they all... Oh, there's contact in front. Morgan Butler's been punted, I think. I think he might have been hit by Draycott. Lundgren's going to try and take advantage. We'll have to have a quick look there what happened. Although Lundgren and Rayfield all over the back of Draycott now like a pack of hungry wolves. Oh, I think there's been a hit in front as well. I think Blake and Jacobs... Yeah, Jacobs just got past Michael Blake. What's happened here then? I heard contact. What happens here then? Does Jacobs absolutely launch it up the inside? Oh, he's late on the brakes. And he's gone deep. Oh, Blake just hits the back of him. And Jacobs manages to keep the place because of that. This is still going on though. Look at it. Rayfield down the inside of Draycott. Late on the brakes as they dare. Andy Fox has now got the inside. What can Draycott do? Great scrapping in the midfield though. This is exactly what we wanted, and it's nice and clean as well. There's contact here and there, but this is tin top racing. This is touring car racing. This is boring car racing. It's what we all know and love. And Dennis Melchert's had some sort of issue at the front here because he's only 0.6 of a second ahead of Tom Jacobs now. That lead has disappeared for Dennis Melchert. I'm not sure whether he's sort of gone off for a moment or not, but nothing's come up on the event viewer that I have, so not sure what's caused it. Tom Jacobs, though, holding on to second place now ahead of Michael Blake. But Michael has got a very good run there, and whether he's going to give Tom a little bit of it back when they get to the hairpin, we'll have to see. He's pushing him down the straight at the moment. Tom doesn't completely cover the right-hand side, though, and Michael's going to go for this on the brakes, surely. A little bit later, down the inside. Tom gives him the room. Michael gets on the power a little bit earlier and he straightened it up nicely. Still side by side as they go to bridge. Oh, Rob Lundgren's gone off. Oh, Rayfield's around as well. There's a lot of cars involved. Morgan Butler's lost some places. Oh, Draycott's in there as well. We'll have to go back to this though. Jacobs and Blake still side by side for second place. And still Jacobs holds on. Now Dave Waldock, Blake's teammate, wants in on this as well. He's going to be sick of seeing that livery by now, is Tom Jacobs. Whether it's in front of him or in his mirror, he's somehow holding the place. Oh, Blake. I don't think Blake had an overlap. Jacobs wanted to just take the apex. More contact as well. Blake's all over the back of him, but to be honest, Tom's just following his line. Blake keeps tapping the rear of him. And this is still kicking off, honestly. These boys will need a restraining order by the end of the night. Derek Robb is down the inside of Draycott. He's not giving him an inch. Let's have a look at what happened then. Oh, this was after the incident, so never mind that. We'll have a quick look here. Again, this was after the incident, so much has happened in this time. And this as well. Oh my goodness me. Sorry about this, everyone. So here we go. Oh, Rayfield gets into Lundgren, who hits Morgan Butler. And Morgan's full lock right smashes into Draycott. That's where the damage came from on Morgan's car then. Morgan was full lock to the right and it just shimmied around. And he's now sort of split that group up a little bit, but Coughlin is now the top independent in this race, and for the first time this season, Matt Draycott is not on his way to an independence win, although he's really putting the pressure on. Look at the state of Morgan Butler's car. Tyre marks and damage all over the right-hand side of it. It's a real mess. Andy Fox has somehow been reeled in by these boys as well. And Jacobs has got Blake sending it down the inside of him. Michael thinks, right, I'm sick of it. I'm going to get it done. Waldock also goes in. Oh, Jacobs not really leaving all the room. And Blake has managed to get second place. All this time as well, Dennis Melchert isn't really disappearing into the distance. He's only just over a second ahead of these guys. Here's the rest of the circus, look. Look at them all. Nose to tail. And Draycott is not going to be happy about seeing another independent in front of him there in the form of Chris Coughlin. Chasing him down the straight then. Lap 7. Just about to hit the 10-minute mark in this race. 2/3 of the way through. Big damage on the front left of Draycott's car. Shimmies a little bit there on the AstroTurf. Don't forget race 2 is a reverse grid as well, so these guys that are fighting for these places, it's anywhere from 10th to 16th. So currently the guys behind them are going to be eligible to be possibly put on pole for race 2. Draycott sends the cones flying. He's all over the back of Chris Coughlin now. He's not letting him sleep easy tonight. Chris is going to have nightmares. Blake and Jacobs again side by side. Again, not really giving each other all the room in the world, only giving each other the bare minimum. Josh Rayfield has gone past Andy Fox now as well, and through goes Josh. Josh has been awakened recently in this championship. And he's going to get the move done by the look of it on Andy Fox. He does. Up into 5th. And just behind, Morgan Butler has slowed for some reason. I think he's got to slow down. He's in the middle. He clips Draycott. And Derek Robb as well. And Draycott's off and surely out. The car not behaving itself. What happened there? Morgan's in the middle of the road. Derek Robb goes down the inside. Morgan into Matt. And again, more contact between the pair of them. And Matt Draycott has indeed come in the pits. Look at the state of that car. It's absolutely in pieces. And to be fair, the Jetters have been quite robust so far. And what is robust is Josh Rayfield's idea of where Cops goes. That's not quite how it works, mate. He comes across on Andy Fox, nearly hits him. Needs to just be careful with the rejoin. The car hopping again and again. Chris Coughlin now, don't forget, lead independent in this race, and he's going to be really, really chuffed with that one. Lambert, Jacqueline, and Burke are all having this little battle on their own further down the order. And yeah, Ian, I agree, mate. I don't think Matt knew he was there either. They should be given a fast repair. We'll have to see. This is still going on, by the way. Still going on at the front of the pack. Jacobs is going to be... Honestly, if I just show him a picture of one of the 1999 Vauxhall Vectras, he's just going to throw it at me. Or burn it on the spot. Waldock down the inside then, on the brakes. The mid-corner speed of this car is pretty ridiculous, to be fair. Waldock only gives Jacobs the room he needs. Don't make contact, boys. Blake is going to be loving this, because all this time he's going to be trying to run away. Oh, Jack Werrell and Steve Burke together. Burke runs him out of road. On the grass they go. Let's have a quick look at what happened here. Wow, Jack's gone in very deep. Yeah, Steve just doesn't give him all the road there, I think. They're having a good scrap though, those guys at the back. Unfortunately, Draycott is further down the order. Lundgren off at turn 1. More gardening. And look, you could just see it there in the background of your shot. Tom Jacobs all over the back of Michael Blake. And there is the gap to Dennis Melcher. As I've said all race long, Dennis has not run away with this. And you're right, this is nice clean racing up at the front. These guys having a nice old fair fight. And the gap behind Dave Waldock is very, very small, let me tell you that much. Oh, they've both gone in very deep there into the hairpin. Piling the lock on. Those poor tyres. Oh, there's more contact behind. Trying to find the culprit, honestly. Trying to find who did it. It's like 13 Reasons Why, this. Jack Werrell has tried to clear Steve Burke. He's now trying to get ahead of Carl Jacqueline. Don't forget, either of these guys, if they're on the lead lap, they could end up on pole position for race 2. Carl just pops past him then. With only 30 seconds left to go, though, it's going to be one more lap for Dennis Melcher, your race leader. And I think that he's going to have this wrapped up, to be honest. He's done a fine, fine job so far. And in the background, you can just see this never-ending war. These guys as well that you see on screen now are all actually from the top 3 teams in the championship at the moment. Nodaphone might just fit and Ericsson hit us. Here's Josh Rayfield just ahead of Andy Fox. He's got Chris Coughlin all over the back of him as they go through Cops. Some brilliant, brilliant racing though from these guys. Absolutely loving it. You can see just the wobble of the car, even from the onboard shot. Bit of damage to the front left of Andy Fox's car. And now to the cones as well. Innocent third party there. Still getting dragged around as well. And Jacobs has now reeled in Michael Blake once again. And he's going to try and get the cutback. He goes down the inside as well. Mike doesn't give him all the room in the world. He stops the car on the apex. But Tom's going to try and make this work here. Oh, Josh Rayfield and Andy Fox have come to strife. And that is the end of Josh Rayfield, surely, in this race. Not quite sure what's happened to him. Whether Andy's just sent it in. We'll have a look back and see what happened. But this is the scrap then for the final podium spots. Michael's managed to hold off Tom. And this has been a really, really good fight between these guys. But just in front, though, it's looking like a very simple third win in a row for Dennis Melcher. The German comes round the final corner and takes round 5 of the championship, extends his championship lead even further. Great drive. Michael Blake second, Tom Jacobs final podium spot for him, Dave Waldock fourth. And it's going to be Chris Coughlin ahead of Derek Robb and Andy Fox. So Chris Coughlin, what a drive. 7 places gained, top independent. Brilliant, brilliant performance by Chris. He's just ahead of Derek Robb. Andy Fox, Rob Lundgren finishes 8th there. Niall Crowther 9th and Morgan Butler rounds out the top 10. But what happened between Josh Rayfield and Andy Fox? Is Andy just going to really send this one down the inside? Oh, Andy's completely missed his braking point. Absolutely missed his braking point there, and Josh just got really clouted. Such a shame that is. And Matt Draycott, another one that really did lose out in this race, I'm afraid. Steve Burke and Carl Jackalette just crossing the line as well. Carl actually beat Steve in the end of that one. But wow, what a race we've had. There's the state of Matt's VW Jetta. We'll have to make sure that fast repairs are on for these guys next time, I think. Speaking out loud, or thinking out loud, I should say. That's one little amendment I think we need to make. But there is Draycott across the line then. But there is your race winner, Dennis Melcher. Tom Jacobs had a great fight there with Michael Blake in that one. That was so much fun to watch. Thank you, boys. And there are your results from race 1 then. Dennis Melcher takes the win. That's 3 in a row now for the German, with Michael Blake second, Tom Jacobs third, and then Dave Waldock in 4th place there. Chris Coughlin, top independent. Again, he'll be very happy with that. Derek Robb finishing 6th. Another good performance from him. Andy Fox and Niall Crowther sandwiching Robert Lundgren there, just inside the top 10. And Morgan Butler gets the top 10 and 1 championship point for his troubles. Ben Lambert, bit of a quiet race on his own, really, in 11th, just ahead of Jack Werrell, who made a good recovery, to be fair. And then we had Carl Jackalette, Steve Burke, and Josh Rayfield. Unfortunately, that means Team Netcode, they were on for some good points from Josh there, but didn't happen. And then Matt Draycott, real shame to be taken out in that incident and all that way down the order. But we've had another amazing first race of the night, and I tell you what, I cannot wait to see the same again. We're going to have round 6 coming up for you in about, I'd say about 10 minutes time, so just bear with us. We're going to get everything set up for you all, and we should be back very, very shortly. I am Chaz Draycott, your host for the evening, and Silverstone International is proving another blinder for us. I'll tell you what, actually, everybody, I'll give you, let me just transition that back for you. Let me just transition that back. We can do better than that. We can do better than that, can't we? We'll give you the wonderful pictures that we have so far from the championship, from the first couple of rounds, and of course pre-season testing. And we'll be back with you, like I say, in about 10 minutes time. We'll have the next round for you. So don't go away. Back very soon. Oh, and the reverse grid, by the way, the reverse grid. I must apologise. We've actually drawn 13. So Jack Werrell's efforts have done him a massive, massive favour there and put him on pole for race 2. He'll be ahead of Ben Lambert. Josh Rayfield will be third, with Morgan Butler, his sparring partner from that one, just behind him in 4th. So, like I say, join me in about 10 minutes' time. We'll be back with you for round 6.
So let's forget about tomorrow and live for tonight while we're free. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. Hands will touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. From the dust we will awaken, and life will fill our veins. But these are the moments that we live for. I can keep it inside of me. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive.
So we're just getting the session set up now, everybody. Bear with us a few more minutes and we will be in and ready for round 6 of the championship. Dennis Melchett there, extending his championship lead further. What more could you want? What a guy.
We could burn like a flame through the atmosphere. Yeah. Starlight, it's calling us. Leave the ghosts of our past in the stratosphere. Oh yeah, yeah, it's calling us.
Someone, I tell you what, actually, everybody, someone who I want to have a quick word with after that one is Michael Blake. Michael, well, first of all, are you there, mate?
Yeah.
That was a hell of a battle with Tom in that race, wasn't it? There was some proper good scrapping in there.
Touring car series.
Oh, aye. It certainly was. It was full on touring cars. You really took the spirit of it, didn't you, you pair? And Dave as well.
Yeah, it was elbows out, so it's good fun.
Definitely. It's great to see that, you know, with the damage on still as well, the guys can sort of bounce around a little bit. And I think, you know, I was thinking between races, having the damage off, I think it sort of affects the cars in how they behave with each other. Like, they bounce off a bit more because it doesn't sort of absorb the energy, if that makes sense. Do you agree on that part?
I think with the damage on, everyone knows they've got to be more careful, but you can still, if you're sensible about it, you can rub panels, as Tom and I just did.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that part. It certainly looked like a lot of fun anyway. I mean, it's one of those situations where I'm jealous I'm not actually out on track with you guys, because it looked like a hell of a lot of fun. Starting from a bit further back there, what's your approach going to be for this second race?
Can't say too much, people might be watching.
Love it. Absolutely love it, mate. Well, best of luck either way, and I'll speak to you in a little bit. And he's actually popped into the interview booth himself, waiting for an interview. So we may as well give him the pleasure of it. Jack Werrell is going to join me in the booth. Hello, Jack. How are we?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. It was a busy old race one.
Yeah, it certainly was. Bit of an incident going on ahead of you in that one, and obviously you took to the gravel, but you dropped off quite a lot. What happened there? Because we didn't really catch all of that.
It was starting to sort of get the better of me. Because in qualifying, I was miles off the pace, having started at the back, and then me being me, I did a Tom Jacobs and forgot that this thing's the SG, so it doesn't have a clutch.
Oh, no way, you jumped the start.
Got myself a 13-second penalty, came out of the pits 22 seconds behind Steve, I think it was, and then I ended up getting him in sort of 7 laps, so I don't know how I managed to find all that pace, but I caught up with him and Jacqueline and just sort of made the most of it.
Well, you certainly showed that you got good pace there towards the end, and hopefully you can carry that over into this one. Obviously not the best start to your evening, but pole position for this one, so you excited for that?
Yeah. It's a very sort of Brands Hatch-esque evening. Not the greatest race one. Finished 12th, which I think I did at Brands as well. And then I get dumped onto pole position for race 2. So I'm hoping I can do exactly what I did at Brands and get my head down. However, I'm not as comfortable around here, and I am still learning the track literally as I'm going around it at the moment. So a top 5 would be quite nice, and as long as I can help Tom work his way up as well, I'll be more than happy.
Cracking. Well, fingers crossed, mate. And I'm sure that you'll have a lot of fun either way. Seems like everyone's getting their elbows out of it, but still enjoying it tonight.
Yeah, I did a little bump and run on Jacqueline, which was it had a few little touring car vibes about it. So I hope we can keep up with it in race 2 and yeah, see where it leaves us.
Smashing. Well, I'll speak to you later on then, buddy.
Yep, speak to you later.
Cheers. And I tell you what, just because we can, so it fills a little bit of time in the practice session. He's currently top at the moment as well. Tom Jacobs joins me in the booth. Tom, I just spoke to Michael about that battle that you had in race 1 with him and Dave. That was absolutely mega, wasn't it?
It was, it was it was quite a lot of fun, I have got to say. There was a bit of moments where I thought, oh my god, I've got up the inside, I broke too deep, and then we'd sort of give each other room and everything else. But yeah, hats off to the pair of them. It was interesting being sandwiched between two teammates and having to defend and attack at the same time. But yeah, it was clean racing by all of us, I thought.
And with the damage on, what does it sort of do to your mindset knowing that there could be more consequences? Because I was saying to Michael before that I don't think the cars jump around as much when the damage sort of absorbs a bit of the energy. I'm not sure whether that's a thing, but I imagine that it might be.
Yeah, I think it is, to be honest. I've not noticed it as bouncy as it was in previous rounds. And I think, to be fair, from what I've heard from the lads as well on the team radio and stuff, everyone's been a little bit more conservative and stuff, and you sort of have to pick your opportunities to try and dive down the inside, in case, because if you have contact, especially in these things, they just end up darting around all over the place. So yeah, it's certainly a bit different this evening.
Well, you'll be surprised when you watch the race back, mate. You'll see you'll see just how much you missed out on behind. It was so scrappy, and there was about a battle of like 7 cars all bouncing off each other. You probably heard it in the chat as well.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah, I did.
It was mayhem, but it was great to watch all the same. Good racing. A couple of guys unfortunately got taken out of it, like Matt and Josh, but it was still good fun. But you'll be grateful that you weren't in that one, and you were in quite a clean fight up front, because you boys had it easy, let me tell you that. It was still amazing to watch and still scrappy, but yeah, it was on another planet, those boys. But good luck in this final one, mate. It should be a great watch, and hopefully you can get a good strategy behind you and climb up the order.
Yeah, hopefully we can take the fight to Dennis.
Smash him. See you soon.
Cheers, mate.
Tom Jacobs there, just sat in the pits at the moment. And, well, like I've said, everyone, we got treated to an absolute belter of a first race this evening. Contact all over the place, but like we've had in the chat, Robin is racing. And it's not like we're racing open wheelers. Yeah, that's a good point. Contact as expected anyway, and it's fun to watch. And these guys, they're all in the similar Discord. I mean, at the moment, just looking at it now, we've got, let's have a look, 8 of them in one chat. We've got 2 in another, and then another 6 in another chat as well. So they're all sort of chatting away in a group and enjoying themselves, making sure that they make light of what's going on. Matt Draycott, Niall Crowther, Ben Lambert, Andy Fox, all those boys in there together as well. Steve Burke had a bit of a rough race 1. Unfortunately, the damage putting him quite far down the order and out of contention in that one. Practice does just come to an end now. And I'm going to fly through this grid as quickly as I can, so trust me, I'm going to be speaking very, very quickly in just a second. We'll shut the music up as well and get ready for it. So here is your grid then. It's not the grid, never mind, because Tom Jacobs is not on pole, I know that much. It's Jack Werrell on pole position then. Ben Lambert, Josh Rayfield, Morgan Butler, Niall Crowther, Rob Lundgren, Andy Fox, Derek Robb, Chris Coughlin, Dave Waldock, Tom Jacobs, Michael Blake, Dennis Melchett, Carl Jacquelet, and then it's Steve Burke and Matt Draycott at the back of the pack. But it's time to go. We wait for Niall Crowther. He's just going to pop up in the bottom right of your screen now, and this is going to be round 6. And I cannot wait. I am so excited for this one. So, 25 minutes ahead of us, mandatory pit stop, and plenty of strategy to think about for these guys. And round 6 of the British Boring Car Championship is away, and it looked like Ben Lambert did jump the start then. I wasn't going to say anything. Rob Lundgren hasn't moved off the line. Rob Lundgren's had a nightmare. Jack Werrell got a decent start. Chris Coughlin's already gained 2 places as well, actually. And before they get down to turn 1, Ben Lambert, Josh Rayfield there side by side in the big pack. Let's just have a look. Is everyone behaving? I'll get my English words out one day. And yes, everyone does behave themselves. So Jack Werrell, he said he wanted to do what he did at race 2 at Brands Hatch and just run away with it from the start. He's not as comfortable here. Or Ben Lambert is going down the order. What's happened to Ben? There's contact. Derek Robb is sideways. Manages to save it just about. Ben must have absolutely cacked himself. Oh no, he must have been given a penalty for jumping the start, actually. I've just thought the 2 dodgy MOT cars trying to fan out here. Niall Crowther and Andy Fox side by side, chasing down Morgan Butler. Biggest mover so far, Steve Burke. He's gained 3 places, but look at these lot here. These are some of the top guys in the championship. Derek Robb. Oh, Tom Jacobs has gone way too deep into Derek Robb. Oh, and the car hops around. Here's Michael Blake and Steve Burke getting a bit friendly as well. Derek Robb's just in front, and you've got Melchett, who's managed to get past all of these guys, and he's now side by side with Chris Coughlin. This is 3 wide behind. This isn't going to go well, boys. Sort it out. Oh, and Morgan Butler's had a nightmare in front. What's happened to Morgan? Oh, and it looks like he's going to... Is he going to stop the car? I'm not quite sure. Steve now trying to get into this fight as well. He's got Michael Blake on his left. Derek Robb on his outside. Chris Coughlin just in front. Chris top independent at the moment. Matt Draycott's just behind this as well. Oh, Rob Lundgren has come out of the pit lane. What's happened to Rob? We didn't see Rob go off. Oh, actually, he didn't take the start, did he? Morgan's going to be getting a fast repair of some sort. Steve Burke has got past Derek Robb. Oh, Steve moves over and Michael's in the wall and it's a humongous accident. I say Steve moved over. I don't know if he did straight away or not, but wow. Derek Robb's had it as well. Everyone's pitting at the end of lap 1 by the look of it. Let's have a look then. What happened with Steve Burke here? Michael Blake apparently... So Steve is on the left-hand side. Yeah, Steve moves over to the right for some reason and he hits Michael and he hits Derek. Not sure whether it was the contact that pitched him over, but wow. What a crazy incident we've already seen. And I'll tell you what, we're going to have to bring up the pit stops on the left-hand side now because so many of these guys have got it out of the way early. Dennis Melcher's already in 7th place. He's the highest out of the guys that have pitted. He's got Dave Waldock just hopping into view there behind him. And then Tom Jacobs as well. Matt Draycott is still in the pit lane and just coming out of the pit lane now. I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong there for Matt. And the battle for the lead is very much on here. Jack Werrell and Josh Rayfield just coming into the final few corners. Oh, Morgan's pedals had an issue, unfortunately. His throttle pedal. This is a 25-minute race, and these guys are treating it like it's a 4-minute sprint. Josh Rayfield thinks, right, I'm not going to get stuck in this fight. I'm going to dive in the pit lane. And in he goes. Andy Fox and Niall Crowther. I think Niall didn't know what to do there. He's thinking, do we stay out? Do we go in? What we doing, mate? But him and Andy then, 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Chris Coughlin just behind. And then Steve Burke. Steve didn't actually lose out really anything from that incident, to be honest. But it will be looked at afterwards. Down they go then. Steve very sideways into there. That's not how you want the car to behave. Manages to save it, or does he? He goes sideways again, breaks away from him. What a nightmare that is. Carl Jacquelet here is just behind Ben Lambert. And the field is really spread out at the moment. Let's just show you this. That is how spread out the entire field is. 6th place. Josh Rayfield is actually the highest placed driver to have stopped now, and he's got quite a good gap. He's got nearly 4 seconds over Dennis Melcher, so we'll see whether he can keep that gap. You can visually see the difference there between them. But we know from these races that over the time they've got, they can very, very quickly close back up. But Matt Draycott is now 24 seconds behind Tom Jacobs. Not been an evening to remember for Matt Draycott in the independents category. Steve Burke has gained 10 places in this race so far, though. And I do apologise, everybody, as well. I realise that the car volume isn't very loud. There you go, you get it now, don't you? I turned it down in the week. I always turn it down on Wednesday nights when I do a NASCAR league that I commentate on. Niall Crowther coming in the pit lane. But now you have the beautiful Jetta noise. Chris Coughlin's just on the fastest lap of the race. A 136.2, 136.0 for Jack Werrell. And 135.8 for Chris Coughlin. So Chris is on a mission tonight. He wants to really take this Independence Championship fight to Matt Draycott. He's obviously got to think about Steve Burke behind him as well, who's also an independent. Sideways into there. That sounded like a car going off. That's Rob Lundgren, and Rob is in the wall hard. What has happened to Rob? Oh, I think he's done this on his own. Oh, that's going to be a big off, and the car's going to shimmy the other way. Look at that. That's a massive hit for Rob Lundgren. Thankfully, it is just sim racing, and I'm sure he'll be okay, but I'll be a bit annoyed. Dave Waldock and Niall Crowther here side by side. Dave making the move and going through now. He's going to chase down Dennis Melcher. Niall has pitted. He's in 8th place overall, and he's just trying to stay with Dave now. And the top 4, as you can see, everybody, have not pitted yet. Fastest lap of the race for Matt Draycott, 1:35.5, so he is absolutely on it at the moment. Ben Lambert is all over the back of Carl Jacquelet here. This is for 11th and 12th. It's really gone downhill for Team Jane Fonda. Derek Robb out of the race, Morgan Butler out of the race, Michael Blake out of the race as well. Massive incident for Michael there. Jack Werrell still out on track. Andy Fox and Steve Burke have come in. Oh, Rob Lundgren's off track again. He's just trying to drag that car home, or what's left of it anyway. Chris Coughlin. I tell you what, I know that Chris does a lot with garden sheds for a living, and he's going to be making one at Cops if he carries on like that all over the grass. Here's Andy Fox in the pit lane, ready to go. You can see the wheels pointed slightly to the left. Off he goes. Through goes Josh Rayfield. You'll see him just come into shot. There he is. Dennis Melchett should be around here somewhere as well. As Andy gets up to speed and out of the pit lane, there is Dennis. And it looks like Andy's going to hold the spot. Let's see what Dennis can do then, attacking him as he comes out the pits. Steve Burke just comes out ahead of Niall Crowther. Bit of a hop, skip and a jump there from Andy. We expect nothing less from these Jetters. Dennis all over the back of him, trying to put the pressure on the championship leader. He's going to be attacking now. So, Werrell and Coughlin, the only two not to have stopped, as you can see on the left-hand side. And this is the beauty of these feature races. They can really throw up a different order. Oh, Dennis is on the gravel there. He's all over the back of Andy Fox, though. Really putting the pressure on at this point. Side by side through bridge. You're braver than I am, gents. Dennis runs out really wide to try and get a good run through here. We might see him go on the left. Dave Waldock wants to get in on this as well. Oh, and Dennis has managed to get the door open on Andy. A little bit of an overlap, although there's still no contact. Great racing. And the guys ahead have not pitted yet. Jack Werrell is just carrying on his own accord. Chris Coughlin's up 7 places in this race. Chris is having a great evening. That was Josh Rayfield, who actually, effectively, after the pit stops, is leading this race so far. He's the highest of those that have pitted. And the longer that Andy Fox can hold off Dennis Melchett and Dave Waldock, the longer that Josh will be happy with that gap and potentially could get closer and closer to a race win here. His first win of the series. The only winning drivers we've had so far are Tom Jacobs, Jack Werrell and Dennis Melchett. Matt Draycott's doing some really, really good pace so far. A bit further down the order, just in 10th at the moment. That's only 1 championship point for him, I'm afraid. And he got none in race 1 as well, so it's rounds like this that can really hurt your championship. Andy Fox is showing him how it's done at the moment. Take a bow, son. Here's Ben Lambert and Carl Jacquelet still having this fight further down the order. All over each other as it stands. It's great to see these guys. It's number 42 and number 24, so they're number 6 having a good fight together. Oh, Jack Werrell's gone off at Cops as he starts another lap without pitting. 10 minutes of the race gone already. Oh, Andy's really wide this time through Luffield. Dennis is down the inside. Can he keep the speed up around the outside, though? It looks like he has, you know. Oh, nearly contact between the pair of them. Dennis still down the inside, though. He's got a slight overlap, or has he? He might just have a little bit of that bumper down the inside. And who's going to be braver going into Cops? Dennis moves over a little bit. Andy moves over to the right as well, onto the brakes. Andy carries plenty of speed around the outside. Dave Waldock wants to go with him as well. Dave's saying, I want this place as well, Dennis. You're not the only one in town trying to overtake this man. Nearly 3 wide here. Don't do it, boys. It's Waldock and Melchett, the 2 championship leaders at the moment. First and second in the championship. Dave tries to hang it round the outside in the Might Just Fit cart. Doesn't quite do it. Dennis runs about room and Dennis is off the road, and it's payback for what happened at Donington. And Dave Waldock carries on, a free man. Dennis comes back on the circuit. Well, Ian's just said in chat he'd put money on Dennis. I'm not sure if he would now. But that's just how easy it is. And at the end of the day, it depends who runs who out of room. Now, Jack Werrell, race leader, comes in the pit lane. Gets it slowed down, gets it stopped. What does Chris Coughlin do? Chris is carried on for another lap now. He's going to be going to lap 8 of this race as he inherits the lead. Round he goes. They've got a massive gap over Josh Rayfield, who is going to be resting a little bit easy now, and Ian Fox says I've just lost some money. Yeah, you have. We'll have another look at that incident though, shall we? Let's have it on the chopper cam. This is the incriminating one, so let's see how much room Dave gets on exit. There is still an overlap. Yeah, to be honest, Dave didn't have anywhere else to go. You could argue that he could have gone onto the tarmac on the left, but it's not technically where the track goes, so unfortunately it's 1-1 now. That happened at Donington last week, where Dave didn't really leave much room going into the old hairpin, and Dennis had him across the front of his nose. And now we've had the same here. He's now got Niall Crowther in front of him, who's 7th, doing a fine job, and Jack Werrell has come out behind Josh Rayfield, I should add. It's not a massive gap, but Josh Rayfield is just going into the hairpin now, 2.59 seconds, and after being wiped out at this hairpin in race 1, Josh will be very happy to be up there at the moment. 25 points for winning a feature race. You get a hell of a lot of points for him, so we may see some great things from him. Oh, we've got a very close-up shot of Rob Lundgren there in the gravel again. What's happened to Rob? I think Rob's just abusing this car for the sake of it now. Is he going to put a wheel on the grass going into here? He is. Oh, he's going to hit the wall. Yep, he hits the wall hard and the car digs in. And into the gravel it goes. Carries on though. It's close here between Niall Crowther and Dennis Melchett. They've got Steve Burke just in front, who's after points in the Independence Championship. Draycott still in 10th, not really making much progress so far, but his pit stop was very, very long. Not sure whether he took tyres by accident or something. But there is an angry Dennis Melchett. He is trying to make up some progress now down the inside of Niall Crowther. Niall's gone deep into Copse. Onto the grass, drags him out wide, very wide, and I think, yeah, Dennis is going to be through. There was even a pop and bang there from the Jetta. I didn't know they could do that. They're meant to be diesel. I suppose they are turboed. But Dennis Melchett then up into 7th place. Whether he's driving angry or not, I'm not sure, but there is the gap to Dave Waldock, so Dave hasn't really flown away. It's not like last time round where Dave lost a hell of a lot from the incident these two had. It's been a horrible round for Team Jane Fonda. They had a great first race, earning them plenty of points, but this time round not so much. Ben Lambert and Carl Jackalette, these two still stuck together on track. They're having a great little fight. I'm sure it's a hell of a lot of fun. And Chris Coughlin, your race leader, is in the pit lane. He's come in, and he was quite a far way behind Josh Rayfield, so we'll have to see how that turns out. Oh, Ben just catching that curb there. So here is Chris, and here is Josh actually. Chris hasn't even stopped in his box yet. And Josh is coming down the straight, and he's opened up that gap, you know, to Jack Werrell just behind him. So Josh could well be on his way to a race win here. Jack Werrell, of course, plenty of points on offer in these feature races. There's Chris, he's getting overtaken, he lights it up. And he's on his way out the pit lane, and it's Steve Burke that he needs to think about. Steve is here. Second independent in the race at the moment. Now on your right-hand side should be a Chris Coughlin somewhere. Steve's gone wide. That's not the time to do it, but I think he's ahead. There's Chris on his right, and Steve now leads the independent class in this race. Dennis Melchett comes through as well, slowing Chris down even more. And Steve Burke, for the first time this season, is now top independent in this race. Oh, Dennis has gone deep though, and can Chris get a run? Chris is actually quite far back there. But that means, everybody, with 10 minutes to go, Josh Rayfield leads round 6 of the championship. That's commentator's curse if I've ever seen it. Goes late into the hairpin. And there is the gap back to Jack Werrell. And then Andy Fox is 3rd at the moment in a podium spot, doing a brilliant, brilliant job. He's got Dave Waldock right behind him. There is the Might Just Fit car. through bridge they go. Listen to the tyres screaming for mercy. Ben Lambert and Carl Giacoletto have swapped places again, by the way. These guys still fighting each other. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's a romance, this. And the best thing about this as well is knowing that a lot of these guys are in the same voice chat as each other, probably all just chatting away while they all do this. Look at this behind here. Steve Burke, Dennis Melcher, Chris Coughlin and Niall Crowther. We've had some great battles so far this season, and to be honest, this is just giving us more of the same. How does the stream look, everybody? I hope it looks okay. Look at Waldock now really attacking Andy Fox. We've seen that Andy and Dave have been fighting a lot this season. Andy's got some great pace. He's really come on since the pre-season tests where he did struggle a little bit with the kart. Waldock down the inside, that then becomes the outside. Andy catches the curb, car hops around a bit. Dave really sends it around the outside, a lot of pace and beautiful move. Dave Waldock up into third place. And that position will get him 15 championship points. And it'll be 8 championship points for Dennis Melcher at this rate. But he wants to get 10 points, which is Steve Burke's position of 5th. Oh, Dennis just smacks into him there. Could have backed out. In my opinion, anyway. And here's this. This is still going on here between Ben Lambert and Carl Giacoletto. They're just sliding it around together, having a little bit of a hopping contest. They seem to be on such equal pace. We're 11th and 12th. It's not even for point scoring positions. Matt Draycott's all on his own at the moment. In 10th, Tom Jacobs in 9th. He's not really made much progress in this second race either. Steve Burke is still somehow holding off Dennis Melcher as well. Dennis gave him a good kiss in the rear as well on the previous lap, just to let him know he was there. Down the straight they go. Into Copse, turns in. Dennis on the outside on a compromised line. Now what can Chris Coughlin do? Can he gain anything from this? Don't quite think he's close enough. Niall Crowther's just waiting in the wings for something to happen. Just saw Tom Jacobs at the bottom of his shot there as well. Dennis is climbing all over the back of Steve Burke's car. He's known as the Lord or the King of the Jetta. Look at Steve hanging this car around the outside. He is defending that right-hand line with everything he's got. He's made Dennis go to the outside. What can Dennis do? Onto the brakes. Looks like Steve's going a bit deep. He does. There's a tiny little bit of a wheel bang. Dennis is now on the outside of Chris Coughlin. This is not what Dennis needs. And Dave Waldock is up in third place, gaining valuable championship points on Dennis. If he finishes where he is, he'll get 8 championship points for this, where Dave will get 15. And that undoes Dennis's work in race 1, and some. But once again, some brilliant battling here in the British Boring Car Championship. Don't forget to like the video, whether it be on YouTube or on Facebook, and do subscribe as well to Chaz Draycott Media, or like it. I'm on Instagram and Twitter as well. And don't forget, as always everybody, you can catch rounds 7 and 8 of the championship next week on the 18th of June, where we have a wonderful surprise for you at Alton Park. Again, YouTube and Facebook. We're going to be streaming on Twitch again very soon as well. Oh, Coughlin moving around all over the back of Dennis Melcher's car here. Niall Crowther doesn't want to get too stuck in with that. I know Jay Rayfield will be a happy bloke though. His son, Josh Rayfield, leading the way. I just can't look away from this battle. Dennis Melcher is throwing so much at Steve Burke. And the previous Brit Car champion in real life, not just in sim racing. Ex-Brit Car champion Steve Burke is not letting Dennis have this at all. Onto the brakes, gets it stopped nicely. Still side by side though, they go towards bridge. Dennis has got a really nice run out of there though, and I think he's got it done. Chris Coughlin wants to be part of this as well. This is the independence battle. Steve moves over very aggressively to cover his line. Steve knows that this is a win in the independent class that he is now fighting for. He doesn't need to worry about Dennis too much, but he can still try and fight it. I know Steve, he's not going to shy away from any sort of battle. And I hope neither of these guys are either. Honestly, Jacqueline and Lambert, someone buy the wedding rings. I'm going to get a hat. Honestly, they'll be looking at venues next. So there's your race leader, Josh Rayfield, number 6, doing everything right so far. And here is second place Jack Werrell, just behind. Dave Waldock cannot shake the attentions of Andy Fox. I don't think he'll mind. These guys have had some really good battles all season as Waldock steps the car out sideways a little bit there. And you can see the rest of them. 3 minutes to go in this race. And I tell you what, these evenings really do fly by, don't they, on Thursdays? Not even at the halfway point of the championship yet, everybody, but honestly, thank you to everyone that has been viewing so far and sticking around. I hope you've been enjoying the racing. Burke now in a sandwich of, do I go forward and attack the championship leader, or do I just defend my independent lead? It's a tough call. Tough call. Just behind this, by the way, where Niall Crowther is, he's not too far ahead of Tom Jacobs, who's understeering wide, but still gaining a bit of time on these guys. It's nothing on what Josh Rayfield has done. He's gained a lot of time. He was 2.4 seconds ahead of Jack Werrell earlier, and it's now a 7.3 second lead. Josh is really flying. And with 2 minutes to go, that's 2 laps to go surely. It's looking like he is going to be only the 4th different winner this season. Here's Jacqueline and Lambert once again into the hairpin. What are they going to do? Oh, Ben's gone deep trying to defend it. Jacqueline goes side by side with him. Carl doesn't give him all the room in the world. He just says, no, you can stay over there, mate. Side by side through a bridge. How are they going to manage this? Oh, Ben knows there's no overlap. Turns in. You can just see the cars wobbling around. Just got to shake the rear end one way and then the other. Just let the front tyres do all the work. The back's there just as an inconvenience, if anything. Amazing. What's also amazing is that Chris Coughlin is still not giving up trying to overtake Steve Burke. Steve, of course, missed the last round, don't forget. He's racing in the Brit Car E Series. Onto the brakes, into the hairpin again. Well, Chris has gained a lot of time there. But Steve gets a bit of a slingshot on the exit. Dennis Melchett has tried to check out from this now. He's a second behind Andy Fox. But Dave Waldock, you know, is really closing in on Jack Werrell. That second place is under threat now. With one more lap to go after this. Jack really burning the front tyres up through there. And Dave can smell more championship points. That's 3 more points ahead of him. He'll go from earning 15 points to 18 points if he gets second place. And now Dennis has moved up a spot as well. Dennis is now going to get 10 championship points as things stand rather than 8. But if Dave can get through, that'll be a bigger gap. Oh, Ben Lambert has lost out to Carl Jacqueline. Oh, Carl's gone very deep. That's why Ben goes through again. Oh, honestly. We'll stick with this, though. On to the final lap of the race, then. Lap 16 here at Silverstone. In round 6 of the championship. Jack Werrell, second place. Josh Rayfield in the distance. 8.3 seconds clear now. What a great performance this has been by Josh. And very deservedly so as well. He had a nightmare in the first race, where you don't get as many points, don't forget. Josh got taken out in that one, unfortunately, by a mistake from Andy Fox. Andy's making up for it, though. He's 4th at the moment, just missing out on a podium. I don't think Jack is under that much threat here. We'll have to see. Through the final sector, though, Dave is quick. Dave gets very close to the back of him, into the hairpin. I think Jack is just playing this maybe a little bit too safe into these final few corners. We'll keep an eye on it until we get Josh Rayfield through that final corner. What can Waldock do? He doesn't want to push too hard and ruin the tyres with a few corners to go. Look at the understeer in Jack Werrell's car. But ahead of them, speaking of understeer, round the final corner, I want everybody to get their clap emojis out for this one. Josh Rayfield rounds the final corner to become the 4th winner this season for Team Netcode. What a brilliant drive from Josh. Very well controlled. Very, very well done. And Andy Fox has got past Dave Waldock. Jack Werrell holds on to 2nd place. Andy's just going to beat Dave to the line. Another brilliant battle from those boys, but Dave Waldock now loses a couple of championship points there. And Dennis Melchett will not have lost out by that much. Steve Burke wins the independent class in that one. Very well done, Steve. These guys showing tonight that Matt Draycott does not just have it his own way in there. More points for Niall Crowther and Tom Jacobs, and Matt Draycott is going to be the last point scorer. And in a championship so far where Matt has won the independent class in every single race, he's come away from this entire evening after winning the practice race as well on Tuesday with just 1 point. And that is going to be, it's going to be very, very tough to swallow, that one, unfortunately. And here are these guys as well. I want even more clap emojis in chat. Ben Lambert just beats Carl Jackalette. I love this. Match made in heaven. Ben Lambert just finishes 11th ahead of Carl Jackalette. It wasn't even for any championship points, but what a brilliant race between those guys. But there is your winner, Josh Rayfield. For Team Netcode, a very, very well-deserved victory, and what a great drive. Just shows that you keep your nose clean in these races. Look at that, 9.1 second win for Josh. Jack Werrell, more valuable championship points for him. He's going to love that. 2nd place with Andy Fox, gets his podium. Finally, Andy gets his podium. Very well done, mate. Very pleased for you. Dave Waldock, consistent as always, 4th place. Dennis Melchett, consistent as always, 5th place. Steve Burke wins the independent class there. And then Chris Coughlin finishes in 7th, just ahead of Niall Crowther. Tom Jacobs and Matt Draycott just propping up the point scorers there. And then we have Ben Lambert and Carl Jackalette, the inseparable duo, in 11th and 12th. And unfortunately, we lost Rob Lundgren, Derek Robb, Michael Blake, those two involved in that massive accident with Steve Burke. And then Morgan Butler had technical issues at the start. But there is Josh doing the donuts. It does look like the front wheels aren't moving, but trust me, that's a frame rate related thing. But we'll get him in, and to be honest, I mean, there's no one better to speak to right now in this moment. Even while he's doing the donuts, Josh joins us in the booth. Josh, I bet you're, well, you can see you're over the moon, but I bet you are, mate, aren't you?
I'm happy with that. Was not expecting that after race 1 at all.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rough ride in the first race, especially with that incident at the end, but what was going through your mind? I mean, you were just opening the gap more and more as the race went on.
Well, I knew if I pitted early, I could try get an undercut on Jack because I knew me and him were going to battle. So I came in on lap 2 and just tried to pull the biggest gap I possibly could to him and get a couple of seconds on him in the stop, which I did luckily, and then just somehow managed to pull away from them. I'm speechless, to be honest.
Cracking, mate, absolutely cracking. Well, it looked like you almost jumped the start as well, because I know Ben Lambert went a bit early, didn't he?
I managed to stop it just in time though, so it didn't give me a penalty. Basically what Jack did at Brands again, to be honest. It's literally what happened.
Yeah, well, that's what Jack was hoping for in this one. He managed to still get 2nd place and plenty of points, but I think that's good redemption for race 1. And I mean, Team Netcode had a bit of a tough start to the season, but you showed real pace at Donny and got some good results there. But well, it's come very fruitful this time round with a win, mate. So honestly, very, very well done.
Thank you, mate.
Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, by the way, before I let you go?
Give a shout out to everyone, Northern Lights boys, my mum, my dad, Aaron, Gavin, Connor, and all the people who support me in my sim racing stuff. Couldn't do it.
Cracking. Very well done, Josh. Really proud of you, mate. I'll let you go and enjoy the moment.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. What a very deserving winner there. Very deserving indeed. And someone else who's had a very, very quick switch of fortunes as well. Just ahead of him on track at that point as well, Jack Werrell. Jack, plenty of championship points for you there, mate. You must be pleased with that one.
I have. It's literally a hard copy of Grant's, just on one less position down in race 2, and it was, I don't know what happened. I thought, obviously starting on the front row apparently, starting on the front row. I've got all the work to do from here because I knew Josh, it was quick. In practice he was really, really quick, and he's just naturally quicker than me anyway, so I thought, right, I need to get on him, and he went into the pits exactly when I would have done if I were him. So before we started to get slowed down, and made it work and came out, so I quickly joined the driver chaps. I wasn't in it at the time, and we had a agreement, let's go with, and it worked, and yeah, it's been a decent race too.
Well, more points for you in the championship, mate. It should project you up there, and of course keep Nodaphone up there after a bit of a tough time recently with these 2 race meetings at Donington Park and Silverstone, but that certainly makes up for it. Next time, Alton Park. Speak to me.
It's a circuit I've never driven on
What?
iRacing, apart from in a 911 RSR the other night with your brother, and that was just for a little mess around. I've never driven it on iRacing apart from that time. I've cycled around it, I've walked around it, and I've been there hundreds of times. But yeah, it's one of those circuits I know my way around. But it's, from looking at various races that are out there on YouTube, it's quite unforgiving because it doesn't really go curb then grass, it more just goes grass. So
Yeah.
these cars don't tend to agree with grass either. So it's going to be a tricky night, and obviously with damage on as well, I think that will it'll make it a focusing circuit, but that's good. It makes everybody race cleanly, and I think tonight, well, from what I saw, my perspective, it was much cleaner than Donington, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was. It certainly made a difference having the damage on. I mean, some guys still going for some big moves. Race 1 was a bit more of a mess than race 2, but yeah, some fantastic battles all the same. But well done again on the points, mate. Just before I let you go, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, obviously Josh for doing a great job and getting a win in the end. You for putting all the work in and keeping this thing going every week, and obviously Tom for sort of he's more moral support at the moment because I haven't really found the time to practice with him, but he's always there and he's always free to chat. So massive thanks to my teammate.
Cracking. Well, great as always, Jack. Hopefully more points for you at Alton Park.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. And well, who else to drag in? But he's finally got his podium, and Andy Fox joins us in the booth. Andy, you must be really, really over the moon to finally get there, mate.
Yeah, that's a big relief, that one tonight. I'll be honest, I had to apologise massively to Josh after that first race, but it looks like it turned out doing him a favour, getting him up near the front for the second one.
Yeah, very true indeed, and obviously you still got a podium out of it as well. One thing we didn't look at, actually, I'm going to look at this while I've got you here with me. Just at the end of the race, you passed Mr. Waldock P3, and we didn't see it on broadcast.
Oh, it's very good.
You'll say
No,
that.
Yeah, him and Jack both seem to run a bit wide through the left-hander into Luffield, I think it is, isn't it? And he left a bit of a gap up the inside.
Oh, I've gone back a bit further than that, actually. It doesn't seem to have given me the right bit, sorry. Let me... Oh, here we go, yeah, I've got it now. So, checkered flag comes out. Dave has a quick run at Jack. Oh, and yeah, a little bit of contact, and then you just go, yeah all right then.
I'll just take that gap. There's space for a Jetta through there.
Yeah, certainly is, and there certainly was. Well, I mean, there's been a lot of work going into this, obviously, to get to this point, mate, but what has been the main thing that you felt that you had to focus on to try and improve throughout the season?
For me, it's been trying to keep it smooth, trying to keep your steering input smooth, because the slightest bit of scrub on the front tyres in particular, and you just lose so much speed. It's just trying to keep everything just gentle steering inputs in particular to stop scrubbing the front tyres.
Yeah, it is one of those cars you can get away with hurling it in, but it's just not the way to keep it quick, is it?
No.
Well, hopefully we'll see the same from you at Alton Park, as we've already heard from Jack. It's a very unforgiving circuit. Do you reckon you'll go well there?
Hopefully. As I say, I've done the TCRs round there, and I've been round there in real life because it's only half an hour from where I live, so it's one I know pretty well, so hopefully we can repeat the same next week.
Well, let's see how you get on. Just before I let you go, Andy, anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
I do actually want to give a big shout out to my niece, Emily Kate, because it's her 7th birthday today. So there's a birthday present for her, a podium for me.
Happy birthday, Emily Kate. Happy birthday. Well, great to see you as always, Andy, and I'm sure I'll speak to you in the week, buddy.
Cheers, Chaz.
Nice one. And I do have I've actually got a group of guys that I want to interview now in one go. Well, I bring Carl Jackalette, Chris Coughlin, and Matt Draycott in here because I didn't want to do 7 interviews, but I'll bring them all in at once.
Okay.
I'll start with you, Chris. Sorry, Carl. I'll start with you, Chris. Top independent in the first race. I bet that was a big relief.
Yeah, that was a bit of a squealing session, I've got to admit.
Well, you certainly had a good scrap with Steve in the second one as well for the top independent spot. Not quite getting there, but it looked like a really good dice.
Not sad about it at all. I think if I had behaved a little better behind him, I could have given him a fright on the last lap, but I just overdrove it. Chaz, too excited, a little bit too mashy on the go pedal, and I let it slip away. But I'm not sad at all. You know, first and a second at Silverstone, I'll take that.
Smashing. And what about you then, Carl? I mean, we noticed that you and Ben Lambert have probably been to the registry so far and signed the papers, haven't you? You were completely inseparable this evening, weren't you?
It does seem like that. A bit too close in the first race, but yeah, it's been a disaster, but it was still fun. Had really good battles in both races.
Well, that's the main thing, mate. As long as you've enjoyed it still. I mean, I know Ben will have a big smile on his face after that because he's been struggling at points with his pace, but you know, having someone to battle with for the whole race long as well, you were literally inseparable. We've got constant footage of you guys side by side overtaking each other. And I mean, just as the racing goes, did you feel that having the damage on made any difference to how you guys approached it?
No. None
That's
at
always
all.
good.
Absolutely none at all, because I tried to be clean. I tried to give room, so I would approach it no differently at all. Unfortunately, it cost me dear in the first race because I think my rear camber looked like it was a NASCAR.
Yeah, a little bit oval modified, unfortunately. Just coming to you, Matt, I know it may be a sore subject this evening, only getting 1 point out of the whole race meeting compared to obviously so much success so far in the Independence Championship. How did it go from your point? Because I know that the incidents in the first race weren't really your fault.
No, I still need to watch it back. But I think I just got quite unlucky tonight, really. I was just trying to keep it clean and trying to avoid people and things and not push it too much, but it just really didn't pan out, really. So I think I'll definitely be watching it again. Obviously, it's one of them things. Racing incidents happen, especially in touring cars. So I'm not going to be malicious or anything like that towards anyone, but it just not best pleased.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a frustrating situation to be in because I mean you've had an amazing ballistic start to the season, but now, of course, it's meetings like this that can really change your championship. And now, obviously, Chris and Steve have taken one win apiece in the independence category. Obviously, the overall positions are what actually counts to the points, but does it sort of?
Yeah, I've not even looked at the points. How are they? Have you got them sorted yet? No.
I've not completely figured out the second ones yet.
Oh,
actually,
come
so
on, Chaz.
you'll see that on Facebook in due course. Don't you worry. But no gents, I'll just cycle through very quickly. We're going to Alton Park next week for rounds 7 and 8. A local track for me and Matt at least. Chris, I'll start with you, mate. How do you feel about going around there and these things?
Alton Park. Congrats on the win, Matt, and congrats on the win in race 2 as well, mate. That'll be cool. No, I love Alton Park, but I'll be there to have fun. You know, I'll again probably apply the same strategy as tonight, keep it everyone's way, find a space in there, and just have myself a right giggle and see what comes up roses.
And what about you, Carl? Is it a track that you know and love, or is it one that you sort of wish you didn't exist and you hate it?
Yeah, it's a track I enjoy driving, but overtaking with these is going to be completely impossible. Qualifying is going to be king.
Yeah, it really is around there. It's a very unforgiving circuit as well. As Jack Werrell said before, not really much curb, it's just grass, and it's very narrow. Matt, I know that you've probably got 1,000,001 laps around there, as I have. Obviously, with it being our local, we spend pretty much all our time there on iRacing, for anyone that doesn't know. Are you confident taking the car there? Are you going to be literally practicing every night now?
Yeah, I think because I know the track enough, and I know what like the braking zones and stuff, because we did a few little hacks around there, didn't we? So before the season started, so
yeah.
I'm quite confident. Yeah, I know I've definitely got the same pace as Tom around there, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely, especially one of the guys that's obviously one of the first race winners of the season. Well, great to have you though, gents. Thank you very much for coming in and chatting to us one by one. Anyone you want to give a shout out to? Start with you, Chris.
Yeah, I might do the soppy thing actually, and give a big thanks to my wife who lets me come and do this on the rare occasion we get. But with the COVID situation and our personal home situation, it's really difficult to actually do anything for fun or do anything that doesn't involve caring. So be able to come and play tonight is a lot down to her, and I would be able to do it. But
Nicely said.
Big shout to the little women behind us.
Yeah. Nice.
She's only 4'10" before anyone thinks I'm talking down about women. She is tiny.
And anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, Carl?
No one in particular. My wife, of course, because she's fantastic. Let me race 7 nights a week.
Christ.
Where do I get one like that?
Yeah, it's smart.
Been married 35 years as well.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
It's going well, but
It's going well. I'd hope so after 35 years. Matt, anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Yeah, massive shout out to you, Chaz, because obviously you're putting this on and putting the official practice sessions that behind sort of closed doors. Obviously, all the boys in the drivers' chat that didn't sort of part off, because it's quite a good little chat that we have in that. It's quite funny, and especially in these cars, you've got plenty of time to think about and talk about stuff. So
Yeah.
it's quite good, and you've got communication as well. Like even if I'm quicker or whatever, you've got all that. But yeah, and that's about it really. Just the boys.
Unless you're a foreigner and then you just get abused constantly.
You left that well, leave it there.
Oh God, let's not start. Well, pleasure to speak to you all, gentlemen, and I'll see you all at Alton Park.
Cheers, Chaz.
Cheers.
yeah.
What a cracking bunch of lads we have in this championship. And that was rounds 5 and 6 from Silverstone. Incidents here and there, as we always expect from Tin Top Touring Car Racing, and plenty of overtaking action. Brilliant racing. Some of these guys are absolutely loving the series, and I'm so pleased, and I really hope that everyone at home watching is enjoying it as well. I've been your host, Chaz Draycott, for rounds 5 and 6 of the British Boring Car Championship. Don't forget, catch us same time next week at Alton Park for rounds 7 and 8, 7:45 PM. We're going to be going live on Twitch as well on Chaz Draycott Media, so do look out for it on the Facebook pages and Twitter as well for any of the announcements on there. And I'll see you there. Thanks very much for watching.
Control your eyes and test me. Just let